Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a live edition of BunkaMania Wrestling here on the BunkaMania UK channel. Whether you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, hello. Hope you're doing well. It's all things SummerSlam today. It's been a very busy weekend for wrestling in terms of summer and slams, combining them in a big stadium, all that sort of stuff. And we're going to be going through the card, going through all the recent developments, all that sort of stuff today. So thank you so much for joining us. I am joined by full contingent today of the BunkaMania team, and starting in the box below me, it is MattyBoo. Hello, Matty.
Hello, Dane. How are you doing, me old mucker?
I mean, my voice is better than it was yesterday. That's why strepsils have been very handy. And considering I have a convention coming up in a couple of days where I do need to be hosting things, it's good that my voice is back to normal. But if I try to go high, it really doesn't work. But I'll be fine. I'll be ready for Kick on Wonderland this weekend. In bottom right, we have Harriett Mangago. Hello, how are we doing?
Fine. I'm actually more awake than I thought I would be. So maybe catching up on sleep was a good thing at early nights. Good. I mean, I need to go on.
Oh no, I think after, because we both went to the Hooks on Wrestling watch along over in Shoreditch, and it's like I think I had about 3-4 hours sleep, and I still kind of felt like, am I ill? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's kind of that weird balance of, am I okay?
Am I okay? It's like my voice is very hoarse, and it feels like my sinuses don't like me at the moment. But no, it's all cleared up. I'm feeling a lot better today.
Yeah, to be fair, cold tablets have been a blessing for me. So.
Yes, absolutely. But hello, welcome to the show. And across from me, it is, of course, the giraffe from me, Jeremy Graves. How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Glad to see you've got your finest rendition of Winnie the Pooh voice on for this podcast here today. We are going to have a whale of a time discussing this show.
Oh, bother. Welcome to SummerSlam. It's the place where all the things happen. And Jelly Roll performs songs. Who is Jelly Roll? I don't know. Okay, we'll carry on.
Excellent. Now, for points of reference, talk normally.
Yes. For normally now, I am going to talk normal. Yes. So
listen out, folks. Take a shot every time he sounds like Winnie the Pooh. It'll be a fun drinking game today.
So yes, SummerSlam took place in Cleveland, Ohio, over this past weekend. One of the more stacked cards since Mania. I think we had about 7 matches. I think pretty much all of them were title matches as well, I believe. Apart from Drew and Punk.
Yeah.
So a very stacked card. Let's begin as we always do. Let's go around the room and just get a general kind of consensus on, well, not a general consensus, but just get general thoughts on what we thought of the show. And let's start with Harriet.
I enjoyed it. I think from a storytelling perspective, it was enjoyable. There was a lot of title matches, a lot of changes. Some I wasn't expecting, I will admit. But in all, I enjoyed it. I'm intrigued as to how I always say this, but like Raw tonight, I am really intrigued as to what's going to happen in certain factions and certain storylines, SmackDown as well. But in all, I thought it was fun. I thought there was just enough matches. I probably didn't want a 3-hour pre-show, but still, in all, I loved it.
Everyone will be relieved. We're not talking about the pre-show.
No.
Say it's too bloody long, and I don't get it. I mean, we were gifted the gift of sexy Wade Barrett in his shirt, slightly unbuttoned and shirts, going, "Hello, Michael. I'm here for SummerSlam. Look at me. I'm sexy. I'm in movies. I used to be in movies. I was in Dead Man Down with Colin Farrell, and it was directed by the guy who did The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Swedish version, not David Fincher."
It was like an action figure because later on he had his suit jacket on and then sunglasses.
Yeah, he kind of went through the range, but he started out outside like hour 1 of the pre-show going, "Look at me, I'm sexy."
I kept on joking. I said he's going to unbutton a button every time he comes on TV. Didn't happen, but
Drat.
I know.
Anyway, Matty, what did you think of the show?
I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I overly loved it, but I appreciated it for what it was. Basically, it was a masterclass in storytelling. More importantly, how to finish a chapter ready for the next one, which is how I feel the big four now are becoming under the PLE era. because we had the end of a story and the start of a whole new story with WrestleMania, and now this is the end of chapter 1 of this story. Comes SummerSlam. I feel that once we get to Survivor Series / Royal Rumble, that will be the end of that chapter, ready for the final chapter in the road to WrestleMania. So I feel that this is what this ultimately was.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you, Manny. Jeremy.
Yes.
Yes. Your thoughts on the show, or your thoughts in general on the show.
So, for the moments that occurred on this show, generally, I would say they were good, at least good. But this show just wasted my time, quite frankly. Now, I want to first off say this before anyone potentially tries to say, is this me being like an AEW-related thing and it not being that? Nothing to do with the wrestling ability of people or the match quality. Just as a whole, the show just felt very long and bloated. And there were recurring themes on this show at which, after the third or fourth one, I literally thought, do people not pay attention to other matches to see what's going on? I'm sure we'll get onto it. But if you had a shoulder and you were the unlucky recipient of being sent into a ring post, in 5 of the 7 matches, that happened. It's just like, that's not the be-all, end-all of my quote-unquote gripes. But overall, because I was summing up to you guys this morning when we were having a little sort of off-air discussion, and it's WWE put up a 20-minute recap video of SummerSlam, like the morning after. And quite frankly, I could have just watched that and had far more enjoyment watching it in a condensed form rather than over 4 hours. The moments that were good on this show had impact and were good. But for me, watching it at the time, uninterrupted and such, it just wasn't that fun. And the few matches I was genuinely looking forward to, neither as a whole, except for particular moments in said matches, delivered. That's just my thought, as it were, as an all-encompassing global thought. Also, I'm going to say this now to people. Because someone important did return on the show, I have got a final boss-themed giant water bottle. So if you see me, if you're watching the video version, periodically taking a sip of what I assure you is water, because I don't drink, then please just ignore this and carry on.
No, he's being modest. This is just a normal-sized drink for him, really.
It's a 2-liter thermos, that's what it is.
Just slightly off topic. It might have been either the last KillerCon event in 2022 or the one before that in 2017. I think there's a picture of you holding like a mini keg of an ale, of a hobgoblin, and it's the same size as that big water jug you've just had on screen. It's like it's normal size, of course. All that sort of stuff. I'm surprised you didn't call it the big jug after Roman Reigns being the big dog.
Oh, that's
it's the big jug. Dun 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 dun. Big jug.
Anyway, you went Shield themed there.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that.
I'm keeping an eye on the chat, and there's at least one thing you can take away from this, Jeremy. So over on
which part of what I just said can I take away from this?
Well, apart from the giant tank you had in your hand, I mean, the one that Harriet's drinking from right now is just basically a thimble for you. But anyway, we have got, of course, chats on both. I nearly called it Twitter, both Twitch and, of course, YouTube as well, if you so feel obliged to go there. Timla CVG, hopefully I got that right, said the biggest takeaway from SummerSlam is that rat-ta-ta-ta-ta, I don't think I got that particularly right, but from Baby Metal is going to be the theme from Bash at Berlin. And even my wife, who had no idea who the heck Baby Metal was up until about 2-3 months ago when you introduced it to her, even she likes that song. So so that's got something to enjoy.
I think at that point I was like not starting to fall asleep, but like starting to drift into like kind of, okay, this is the moment I could go to sleep, and then suddenly announced that I'm like, right, I'm awake, right, okay, yep, okay, let's carry on. I was just so happy.
Yeah. Do you want to know why, everybody? It's because they We'll push it to the limit, and everybody's feeling the sound of the night. I don't want to stop. We push it to the limit. Together we will crash the morning light. Bun, bun, bun. Hey, bun,
The
bun,
Giraffe
bun,
and Me
bun.
version of this song will be available in all good outlets.
It'll be on our non-existent Patreon. I digress. Please continue.
I mean, if they were to perform it and they were performing it when Gunther was getting ready for a match, I'm worried. I'm worried Gunther would come out and do something to say you're desecrating the sanctity of wrestling in my home territory area.
I don't know.
He
what
would
you're
just
talking
call
about.
Electric Callboy street trash at this point. That's what he'd do.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's going to be his entrance music.
Oh god.
Oh, with Ludwig Kaiser just going the ring
He's doing
general.
that.
They'll bring Alex Wright out from retirement to just do a special kind of dance to it as he comes down the ramp.
And there'll be there'll be like a diehard AEW fan there who's then going to think, oh my God, it's Mercedes Moné back in WWE for a brief second.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the theme similarities. I remember that for the first time when I saw that in AEW. I went, wait a minute, that sounds awfully familiar. Anyway, yeah, my general thoughts on SummerSlam, I think from story developments, really, really solid. And this is the thing, it's like I think back to the matches, and apart from like a few big spots here and there, I don't really think much about the actual wrestling matches themselves. I mean, I think most of them just had a story element to it. It's like it's like, yes, solid wrestling, no major problems, but it's just like sometimes it's like, yeah, when there's a really good wrestling match going on, it's part and parcel. You have to have at least something memorable about the wrestling as well as the story. Whereas I think Matty hit the nail on the head. A lot of this card has just basically just been, we're going to do this bit. We're going to do this bit of the story. This bit of the story is going to happen. This bit of the story is going to happen. And it's basically, we just need to focus on that rather than what's happening in the ring. And it is a trait of WWE to focus more on story and promos and all that sometimes. I mean, it's like sometimes you kind of look at recent Raws where there's only a small percentage of the show actually dedicated to proper wrestling than everything else. But that is them, unfortunately. That is them at the moment. But no, I think generally it was a good card. I think it was a good show. I mean, a heck of a lot of title changes going on as well, which was quite surprising as well. But also a good thing because it makes things a bit more freshened up, I suppose, in a way. And yeah, it's like main event itself. We'll go into it a bit when we do play-by-play. But the way I looked at it's like the moment they kind of went, it's going to be Bloodline rules on SmackDown. It's like, yeah, Roman's back. It's just yep. you've just kind of signposted everything about Roman coming back, and that's fine. But it just there just seemed to be something kind of lackluster about the Bloodlines rules match this time around. And then again, it's like I think both in theory both Bloodline rules matches have just been kind of nonsensical, non-DQ stuff. And it's kind of like when it was first pitched by The Rock many months ago, you had this sort of great idea. Oh, they could do everything. They could ring the bell. They can do commentary. They could come and do a ring announce and all that sort of stuff. It's like it's their territory. No, it's just no disqualification and just gives everyone an excuse to come and just get involved, I suppose.
A standard Roman Reigns title match.
Literally what I was going to say.
Yes. Yes. A Roman Reigns title match that has at least an ounce of Roman Reigns inside it at some point, even as a wrestler or just popping by and just doing a spear. Yes, in the chat, we have Peter Sedorn going.
I was about to tell you, yeah.
Yeah, Attitude Era pay-per-view in 2024. The ring action is secondary to the moments. I think that's a fair point. Very fair point. Right. See, the voice is already going there as well.
Hang on, take a shot.
No, hang on. Water.
Hydrate, people. Hydrate.
Hydration. Don't obviously.
My voice is cracking a lot, so
don't hydrate with Mike's Harder Lemonade. That might end in tears.
That wasn't the worst of the adverts, to be fair.
Oh no, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I've just remembered my Manscaped nightmares. Thank you very much, Harriet.
Not a sponsor, everyone, but I'm just going to say that was cinema.
No.
Somewhere in America, Martin Scorsese's just had a feeling in the force, or so I was just going, wait a minute. The soul of cinema has been disturbed. I don't know.
I mean, have you never seen an A-class bear shave himself before in your life? But, it's just an everyday occurrence here in the office. So.
This show opened up with Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Yes, Rhea Ripley came out alongside Dominic Mysterio. Liv Morgan hoping to continue the Liv Revenge tour by making sure Mami doesn't regain the championship. And this is also it all started off with a bit of mind games. Liv trying to avoid Rhea, but I think the first major story beat was the shoulder in the ring post, which playing into Rhea's actual injury that had her on the sidelines for a couple of months makes sense. Perfectly fine.
Completely agree.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But yes, just calling out now when every other match has a shoulder part, it's really stupid.
Yep.
Yes. It was at its most effective in this match because it lent heavily into the actual storyline of it all. And as you said, because Rhea just came back from said shoulder injury, it made an awful lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue, I can't believe I'm going to say this. You could argue that the shoulder to the ring post was the most effective move the entire night.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe.
Shoulder slam.
I hate I just said that. Sorry, Harriet, I cut you off there. Please continue.
No, I was going to say shoulder slam. I know it's been commented on. I think Ian, you said that. It's just too many.
I think I said during the watch along, this is kind of there's an awful lot of people just injuring their shoulders for some reason, and I don't know why. Is it the trend of storytelling and wrestling?
Did they just see what Rhea was doing and thought we can do that?
We can do that. We can pretend that the shoulders popped out and we need to do something drastic, like I don't know, charging to a desk just to get it back into the socket.
Oh my god!
In the case of Sami Zayn, there is a precedence for that because he does have bum shoulders. Mm-hmm. So it kind of works with him. It's just he just picked the same show that happened with Rhea to do it.
But also, I think in the next match, I think Braun Breaker just charged into the ring post to begin with. Went, ow, my shoulder! Oh. I'm trying to do the dog boat. Stuff. Oh no, my shoulder! I need to get back into the ring. Anyway, back to Morgan and Ripley. Yeah, so it's the thing of obviously the shoulder being the big story point of the match is basically Rhea can't lock in big submission moves. It's a bit of a struggle, but it does look like she has the match won. But then Dom, dirty Dom that he is, tried to kind of offer some sort of assistance with a chair. Rhea said no, and then Dom just gave the chair to Liv for an oblivion. And the turn I think everyone pretty much saw coming finally happened. I mean, it was
after you, please.
I was just saying. I mean, it's like it was still quite an effective way for it to happen and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's kind of like back in Clash of the Castle, the first one, where everyone's just expecting Dom to turn, and it's that weird thing of hit your dad in that sort of way. It was that strange way of just the crowd willing for the turn to happen.
Now, I think that you actually, forgive the phrasing, you missed a sort of a key element of the chair part, because I think this is what actually played into this moment happening in a very good way, in that it was Rhea ended up having the chair in the ring and was going to hit Liv, but Dom took away the chair and was just shouting, "You can't win the title on a DQ."
Yeah.
So at that point, it still had that bit of intrigue of, is this going to happen? Is this not going to happen? Yeah. And then obviously we got the distraction. The chair was kind of notably thrown in. And it's just like, that's not you helping Rhea, is it, buddy? Yeah. And then obviously then had Liv's move, which admittedly I've not seen a lot of Liv matches the past few months, because as we've talked about on previous podcasts we've done, I really get a chance to only watch the PLEs just because I don't have the television outlet compared to everyone else. So the move that Liv actually does as her finisher now looks really cool, like bouncing off the ropes and it almost being like a flatlinery DDT. I can't remember what it's called, but it actually genuinely looks cool.
It's called Oblivion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but in terms of that was good moment number one of the night.
Good moment number one of the night. And yes, Ripley looks like she is about to kill someone.
Oh, yeah. that brutality. Oh yeah, Liv is dead or Dom is dead, one or the other. I mean,
Yes,
to be fair, I know I was expecting the turn, but also I was thinking I honestly thought Dom would do it accidentally, not deliberately. So legitimately, the loudest scream I had of the night was when at the end the turn and then the kiss, and it was just like, oh.
And that's another really fun part. I say fun part in this element, but it's the first time that I can recall, and perhaps correct me if I'm forgetting something very obvious, but from a storytelling point of view, and this is another element of the moment that I really liked, is that you genuinely felt sorry for Rhea, which as a presence in WWE, even pre-Motionless in White era or Judgment Day, or however you want to phrase it, I don't think we've really had that. Maybe sans her challenging Charlotte at the Lockdown WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It goes without saying that apparently, if we go by Fightful's reports, internally, Rhea, upon her return from injury, was classed as babyface. As of SummerSlam, the end of SummerSlam that night, so was Damian Priest. Everyone else in Judgment Day is still classed as a heel. So that should go into what is going to be transpiring tonight as we head towards Raw. But yes, it is official. We are now supposed to be sympathetic towards Rhea if we weren't already.
I think it's one of those things though with Rhea, no one really hated her. She was loved pretty much as a heel. But I think obviously the whole thing with Dom, you know, not soured it, but it was just like it's a thing that happens because obviously Dom gets real heat in regards to in the ring. So this whole thing of now Rhea now being face, I am looking forward to it, but also I have that horrible fear of like people will get too sick of her being a face, if that makes sense. You know, it has happened before, and that's my fear.
So I reckon she'll probably be very much like a Stone Cold babyface, though.
Yeah. If they went with that, I'd be happy.
Yeah, because in many ways you could say that Rhea has the AJ Styles effect in that everything that Rhea does is so damn cool you can't boo her.
This is
and now people actually actively get to cheer it as part of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. One thing I didn't touch on this match is the introduction of RefCam.
Oh no!
Oh god!
RefCam, because for some reason we want to glue an action camera to our refs' heads.
I have a theory about this RefCam.
Okay,
I think I know the answer, but go ahead.
So this is jumping ahead a bit, but I don't know if anyone picked up on it. I think this was meant to play into the Drew and Punk match because Seth came out wearing one and something happened very early on and then he just ripped it all off of his tights and off his ear and then he just threw it out. I think something was meant to happen in that match relating to RefCam.
Yeah.
And maybe them talking about was he being impartial? Because why else would you introduce it otherwise?
Yeah. It served two purposes. The one you just stated, they outright admitted that was what it was there for, and obviously something went awry. But also because to say to everyone watching, look, we know there's been some almighty foul-ups in our PLEs involving referees in the last 2 to 3 pay-per-views or PLEs. And this is just to show you, look, referee's decision is final. This is what they're seeing. This is why they have now they got a stupid little gadget in their ear, which didn't quite work, but it was a noble attempt at trying, and I hope they actually do stick with it in some cases.
It does need fine tuning, probably a smaller pack in regards to where it's being played.
It also needs better video quality. It looks awful.
Oh yeah,
it was terrible. It was never consistent because not every referee wore one. But it was I appreciate the effort that went into showing it and acknowledging it because he's got a camera on his head.
I was hoping for like VAR just in wrestling. So if a pinfall wasn't supposed to happen, they just go back to the ring. The end bit. I mean, replays played an important factor in one of the story beats for the World Championship between Priest and Gunther later on, which we will talk about.
Damian Priest, the smartest man on the roster.
Yes. Yeah, definitely not the smartest man on the roster if you're pushing him towards the ropes. Anyway.
Context is key.
Yes. Any other thoughts on this match, or shall I move on to our new Intercontinental Champion?
One more thought, if I may.
Go ahead.
And this plays into the wasting time thing that I said at the start of the show. When the show kicks off, and this actually happened a few times during the show, but when things are going to get going, you've built up to this match. People want to kind of see the action happening, and the first 5 minutes of this match is rolling in and out of the ring trying to hide. This did not help my feelings throughout, for the night. But by comparison, for the next match, to give you a really fun segue, this match was short, sharp, to the point, and with speed. Not the actual show.
There was a mild argument that was going on during the live chat that we had on Discord at the time. Some people were saying it should have been just an out-and-out squash, and I felt that it shouldn't need to be. It shouldn't be over long, because Bron Breakker is much like a Goldberg. He's better when you've got shorter matches with him. But my main point of it was Sammy defeated Gunther. So if Sammy is then easily defeated, what does that make Gunther? And some people are like, well, that's regardless. That was then. This is now. And I went, no, when you're thinking about it logically, in the same terms of storytelling, like Triple H is now implementing in this main storylines, what does that make Gunther? Is Bron now in a better status than Gunther because he defeated the guy who defeated him so easily? You know? So I never wanted an out and out just squash there, but I appreciate the fact that it at least went about 5 minutes, because Bron Breakker, to all intents and purposes, is now the Goldberg of this federation. So yeah.
I think it was touched upon, months ago, when they were doing when it was Zayn and Gunther at WrestleMania, that only 2 people had ever properly defeated him in the WWE. One is Ilya Dragunov, the other one is Bron Breakker. So if they're trying to continue that sort of thing, if Bron Breakker is on the same potentially more level of Gunther, then yeah, it's kind of done its kind of job. Because even though Gunther lost the belt at WrestleMania, he was a champion for 666 days. It's all that sort of thing. It's it's just one little break could change a champion's fortune. That's the sort of thing. But yeah, it's no, I think in an ideal world, yeah, a squash would have been cool, but no, it makes sense to try and keep your finishing up champion kind of strong to a degree.
Exactly.
And that showed. Opening the match, Breakker attempts a spear, goes into the ring post. Oh joy, another ring post spot. Lovely.
Take a shot, number 2.
From the big jug. Dun 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 dun.
Big jug.
Yeah, big jug. Yeah, this was a fast-paced match, attempting each other's finishes, all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, two delightfully brutal spears from Breakker gave him the belt. And I'm personally quite excited about Breakker as an Intercontinental Champion. I think we're going to have some fun matches with him, especially if he's going to keep up the rivalry with Dragunov, unless he's been kind of earmarked for Bash in Berlin for a little bit. Who knows? We'll probably get a clearer idea of that later on tonight on Raw. But no, it's just I think they've done some really good work with Breakker on the main roster, and they've demonstrated the best things about him. The terrifying speed, and the fact that I think he's one of the best spears in the business.
Yes.
And all that sort of stuff. I think it served its purpose quite nicely.
Yeah, and if I may add, from my point of view, watching from pay-per-view to pay-per-view, he got cocky last month when he lost to Sammy. Yeah. And now the mentality was very much, no, get in, get it done, I'm out.
Yeah.
So it also shows that he can learn. What a concept.
Yes, absolutely. Any other thoughts on this match before we move on?
It was the right length, I think, because, like you said, I'm glad it wasn't a squash match, because I think with Sammy, with the momentum he had after winning it at Mania, it was kind of, at least he had another go at it and another chance to defend it, and then obviously lost. But it didn't make Sammy look bad, so I kind of, this is a good swan song for him, and then he can carry on and do another storyline, possibly involving the bloodline. I don't know. So it kind of closes that chapter, so to speak. So yeah, it was perfect for what it was. So yeah,
cool. Moving on, we have the United States Championship match between LA Knight and Logan Paul, who, for all intents and purposes, has not endeared himself very well over the last few days. We are not going to go into the lengths of it, but suffice to say, he's a bit of a prick, or a bit of a twat, to be perfectly honest on that sort of sense. So yes, Logan Paul defending United States champion. This is his third defense, and that is stupid in itself. I mean,
it's his third defense. Seriously.
Yep.
Oh my god.
May I don't know if anyone has got. I probably could have looked this up before we went on air in hindsight, but if that's the case, in the same amount of time, I am curious how many title defenses did one Mr. Ramondo do? Was there any point when it was an equal amount of time?
I mean, he won. What was it? He won the belt. What was it? He won the belt back in October, November. Yeah, November. So he's had about.
Oh, we're talking Logan Paul. Sorry, I thought you meant Roman for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm just kind of thinking. Like, I think he's had like a 8-month reign. No,
because he retained against Ray.
No, 10 months. About 10. Yeah. So about 10th. Yeah, about 10-month reign. So it's like, I swear Reigns has had at least 2 or more title defenses in like his first year as a champion than Paul did. It's just very weird logic booking. I can understand WWE's logic behind it, especially considering the profile nature of Paul in terms of the Prime sponsorship, all that sort of stuff. I get it. And yes, even though there's countless of reasons not particularly like Logan Paul, there is still going to be a portion of an audience that's going to engage with him in some shape or form through WWE or even through his own stuff, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yes.
When it comes to Logan the wrestler, and for the record, I don't give a damn about Logan the real life person. I'm talking about like the character on screen when I say this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's really freaking good at doing wrestling.
Yep.
And I mean that how it comes out, quite frankly. But you know what else doesn't help in this context? When he comes out with his crappy ring music and he's trying to soak in all the quote-unquote adulation of the fans, and then of all people, he randomly finds in the entrance ramp to walk down with him is everyone's favorite faux rocker, metaler, rapper, whatever the bloomin' heck he is this week, MGK Machine Gun Kelly. And I just thought, can you make me not want to see this anymore?
I mean,
because you're doing a good job.
I mean, I mean, at the watch night, I was praying Kevin Owens just came out and power bombed him through the stage again, like many moons ago. But sadly, yeah, Machine Gun Kelly was there as well.
Which, of course, instantly made me think, oh well, the match ain't gonna end until he gets involved. Then, literally the first thing I thought.
Well, yeah, it is this thing of whoever comes out always helps Logan. It's a running thing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, LA Knight turns up in a stolen Prime vehicle, which he stole the night before, without first putting a pole through a window, because why not? I really wanted him to just redecorate it with Slim Jim, because the match was sponsored by Slim Jim. So I just kind of want him just to turn up in a Slim Jim like Humvee now, rather than just the Prime one, which I thought that would have been better. But no, LA Knight crowd obviously behind him big time. They have a bit of a brawl before the bell actually starts ringing. I think, what was it? Prime drink gets spat in Knight's face, and then LA Knight just kind of did like what was it? Oh, what was it? He hit him with the bolt, and then he did that sort of net breaker on the table, which didn't break, and it looked very painful. It didn't break,
but it did look very painful, yeah.
There were a few things during this match as well that didn't look great. Like the superplex. Let's just cut to that. The superplex where it looked like Logan legit landed on the back of his neck. Much as I've said aside, ouch. Like, just did not look good. But this was just boring. I'm just gonna say it. This match for me was just really, really boring. I wanted LA Knight to win so we could have a change of direction for the US title. Yeah. And that's also what the fans clearly wanted as well.
Yeah.
But this was another example where things just felt like we'd gone from the fast-paced nature of the Bron Breakker match, and suddenly, for me, it just felt really ploddy. Was there some good moments in athleticism? Yes. But as a whole, I'm just like, how long of this show is left? Like, what are we doing?
I will say though, in regards to moves, the spring from the top of the ropes that Paul did to LA. Oh my god!
The twisting one was just like,
yeah,
that should not work, and
it did.
Frustrating that it's him who does it, and it's like.
It's ironic because he was trying to have the moment with Ricochet and it didn't turn out. It was like a year later with another wrestler.
Yeah. But yeah, Machine Gun Kelly came into play towards the end. He was giving Logan the knucks, which was the brass knuckles, which
had chains on
which
it.
Had chains on it as well for
Why?
some reason.
It was his necklace, and he couldn't get the necklace off, I think.
Oh, so basically just got attached to his like his tights or whatever, all that sort of stuff. Attempted his own version of Hangman's. Oh, I forget what the close line's called. Buckshot. Yes, he tried it, missed it, got a blunt force trauma, and then LA Knight gets the belt, deservedly so. And like Bron Breakker winning the Intercontinental, I'm quite excited for LA Knight with the United States Championship. I think we're going to have a bit of fun with that one. And there are some very good people on the SmackDown roster for him to fight with. We've got Santos Escobar, we've got Andrade, we've got Carmelo. Andrade and Carmelo have been having some really good matches on SmackDown. So if you have to watch any of the matches on SmackDown, Andrade and Carmelo Hayes absolutely catch because they're good fun.
And I would also like to draw attention to one of the two good moments in this match, which are one, LA Knight winning. The other one, Michael Cole having the time of his life telling LA Knight to beat up Logan's entourage. Kick him!
I will say this, and I said this to Ian on Saturday. I'm loving Michael Cole at the moment. This is just him being him, and I truly love it. I think he really went off on one on Dom, I think, on as well after the match.
I thought he swore at Dom. It was actually McAfee who called Dom a piece of shit.
I would have loved if it
because
was
we heard that come through the TV. It was still because it was quite noisy in the watch line, but we heard that and was like, did Michael Cole just call Dom a piece of shit?
I would have loved if it was.
But I think Michael Cole was still pissed off.
Yeah.
You mentioned sound, actually. One thing I do want to just say as a quick note, just to make sure I get it out. I thought the audio and video production of this show was god-awful at times. I watched the entire show on headphones, and the audio sounded horrid. Now, there were a few moments when arguably maybe the crowd were cheering so loudly it distorted the audio, which if that's the case, I will let that slide. But there were multiple times where I didn't adjust the volume on my headphones, and the sound just kept peaking and going up and down. And I was just like, what are you doing?
I have found that with the network that their sound mixing is not particularly great. I mean, I listen through like a 2.1 sound bar, and it's like even then sometimes it's hard to differentiate the music and sometimes the commentary. So I don't know if that's a mixing issue. Hopefully when they go to Netflix, that will change the audio quality a bit. It's a long shot, I'm not sure. But Maddie?
I listen to all of my stuff through a 5.1 system. So look at me, la-di-da. And sometimes you got fantastic audio, like you get the crowd behind you and then everything's coming out in the front. And then sometimes it just doesn't work. And I think Jamie's nailed it. The sound on this one just didn't really work, especially when you had the entrance music as well occasionally.
Yeah, because I mean, with the main event, I rewatched like the Roman return and people going, oh, that's a mega pop. And it's like, just sounds like a normal kind of excited pop.
Yeah.
I mean, the mega, it's like, I kind of think the last time I think there was like, for me, what I would call the mega pop was the Money in the Bank, where Cena turned up at the end to face off with Reigns. Because that one was just literally just, it felt like that was off the chart. And again, you look at some of the other things, you look at some of the recent shows where they're actually showing the cameras and that shaking because of how the crowd are reacting or the sound of the ground. Backlash. NXT when Joe Henry turned up or when Trick Williams won, all that sort of stuff. So it's like, it's all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's again, valid there. I'm not the biggest fan of their sound mixes half the time. So it is a bit of a struggle sometimes, I think, when I'm watching it home here. WWE product.
And as a quick counterbalance, just to, again, prove I'm not being an AEW guy here, Dynamite and sometimes Collision sound is also can be pretty ropey at times. Yeah. Like it's never clean, as it were. Like particularly when it comes to sometimes backstage segments, like there's audio problems all over the shop, but at least it's a consistent level most of the time. And that's sometimes all I ask for.
just before we move on to the next match, because bless their cotton socks, these guys, I said to them before we recorded, I refused to talk about the other chap, but I made a point during the live chat, the right guy won. Now let's build him back to a status he was at about a year ago, because he was hot and they took him off the boil. And now it's time to get him to simmer nicely. Don't just make him a prop for the title. Make him the superstar he's meant to be. Anyway, moving on.
To quote Harriet's t-shirt, yeah.
And let me talk to you.
Yep.
I mean, he's technically he's kind of talking into my mic right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the WWE Women's Championship match. Bayley taking on Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. They played a lot into their previous encounters, particularly NXT London in 2015, which I think myself and Harriet were there for.
Yes, that was the one with Finn Balor as Jack the Ripper.
Yes, pretty much.
Oh,
and I think that was so it's that one.
Yeah.
I think him and Joe in the main event there. What was it?
Yeah, I remember that match of Nia and
I love that show. I love
that one. I had fun with that one. I think the only match. What was it? Yeah. Oh yeah, and there was some NXT stuff being taped as well, like Sami Zayn's return after injury and all that sort of stuff.
That was it. I think that was the only one I remember because I was sat near in the middle, facing the ring on the ground part. That was when Bayley came out. I literally just ran to the front so I could see. Didn't, but I tried.
Yeah.
Oh god! You just see Harriet careening into the barrier.
What was it? Peter Sidon has reminded me as well that I forgot how over Enzo and Cass were at the time as well.
I saw a clip of them the other day and I was like, oh god, yeah, I forgot you were in WWE.
It's I'm trying to think of the matches. I think there was Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews, which wasn't that great. I can't remember. I remember Baron Corbin was definitely on the card for something. Well, that's when he was in his lone wolf phase. Anyway, but yes, with this match in particular, Nia Jax and Bayley, they did play a lot of that. A lot of that kind of psychology into it. So basically, Bayley has taken on Nia Jax before. She has beaten Nia Jax before, but obviously Nia Jax is being dangerous in the ring. Obviously, they've played on the injury parts side of things as well. And yeah, I mean, for a while, it's like Jax takes a bit of control there. I mean, Bayley does a very impressive spot in the match with the walking powerbomb, which was really cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
Really, really cool there. But yeah, the match ultimately comes down to Tiffany Stratton, Miss Money in the Bank, with her brand new briefcase, which looks lovely, by the way.
Oh, it's lovely in pink.
It suits the character. It's a bit garish, but I think that's the point.
Honestly, I think it's boring. Like when she won Money in the Bank last month, I forget timelines at this point. Time is relative, everyone. But when she won it, I got the impression she was going to proper bedazzle it. And I thought we were going to have rhinestones all over it. They were just going to drop all over the ring and it would be fun every time. It would be so sparkly. And it's just a bit of pink paint with a couple of yellow stripes. It's basically a Barbie racing car.
I mean, she is kind of a Barbie-ish character, so it does suit. I mean, you have a strap now, so it could be a handbag now.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, so I think you never know. She might dazzle it up each time. Maybe Nia might buy us some stuff to add to it. I don't know, accessories or something. Hit us
For
what
every
you get
city or country she goes to has a new bit.
But yes, Tiffany Stratton comes in, distracts, and Nia Jax delivers not one, but two annihilators, just to hammer through the point that she is now the new champion. And I think it works pretty well with the Queen of the Ring gimmick. She's embracing that gimmick as well, wearing the crown, all that sort of stuff. And I think she's been good since she's come back. I think she has. And there's a big improvement there. So it's kind of the question is who's going to be the one to take the championship offer in some sense, or how do you build that championship? Part of me thinks there's a betrayal coming from Tiffany at some point. There's that sort of aspect, but I don't know. That's just me. I mean, I've talked a bit about the match. I was seeing what everyone else was thinking.
I'll let you folks start.
Okay, so yeah, in regards to Nia's run, I love this run because I've not been the biggest Nia Jax fan, probably because of stuff that happened in the past with her, and I didn't like. But I really, really do like this run of her. I think ever since she won Queen of the Ring, and even before that, I think her ring work has got better. I do think that the whole thing of being on the offensive all the time with Bailey was good throughout the match. And I was surprised. Yeah, no, I mean, I do like her, but I thought Bailey would win this. I will put my hands up. So it was a nice surprise, but also I feel bad for Bailey because it's kind of her time as champion hasn't been as grand per se as like everyone else. Also, I feel like during like promotions, it's not advertised as much, that championship. I think more the Raw side of championships has been advertised more. So in a way, even though Bailey hasn't held on to the title for long, I kind of wish it was a tiny bit longer. But I can see why they have made Nia the champion.
I mean, to a point, you could still do a bit of a chase where Bailey's chasing the title again, and maybe she does beat Nia, or maybe she's in a match with Nia, and then you got Tiffany cashing in to make the triple threat, and that's how Tiffany takes the belt per se, or something like that. Again, they haven't had a failed ladies cash in yet.
No, that's true. She could be the first. It makes sense for her to be fair.
So maybe Tiffany could attempt it. Nia gets angry, and in their sort of bickering, whoever else is in a match picks up the belt that sort of way.
And I don't mean that in a bad way in regards to, I think Tiffany is a great wrestler, but I think it makes sense. Maybe Nia might cost her. You don't know. The whole friendship thing could completely break down, because even Nia was like, don't you dare use that against me, because, you know, it won't be the princess and the queen anymore or something like that. So I am interested how this goes forward, but I do like the fact that championships are somewhat hot potato in at the moment, because I think after having so many runs of champions running for thousands of days, it's nice to have a spin. Yeah, it's good to have variety. So it makes sense that a lot of championships changed, and this was one of them. And yeah, I mean, there was rumor of Charlotte returning, so maybe
probably for the best she didn't.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying it was a rumor, but yeah, I don't know who else. I'm trying to think who else is on SmackDown that could face off against her.
We've got, there's Naomi, but I think she's probably going to get involved with Jade and Bianca, because we've got the unholy union now with Blair Davenport. So we've got that happening. So we've got a faction war going off there. There's Mitchin, who's kind of moonlighting between SmackDown and NXT. I think she's officially part of SmackDown, but she keeps popping up in NXT. Chelsea Green
against Nia.
Chelsea Green. They could do a slow burn face turn for Chelsea Green, because again, crowds are really liking her character. I mean, I think there's going to be a little feud between her and Tiffany to begin with, because they had an interaction.
Yeah, I think Chelsea Green needs to be exactly what she is right now, because you try and babyface that. Won't work.
It won't work, no.
I'm just gonna say, I think Tiffany Stratton, I know it's heel on heel, but ultimately Tiffany Stratton's going to win that title. Whether she runs it off Nia, because she can cash in at any time, and I think that's the element of danger. I think it's a case of they're keeping each other close to each other's chests, because they could look at the other and go, you could take that off me at any time. Also, I could cash that in, and I could technically lose that off you at any time. I think it's a very interesting dynamic if they lead that into it. My money is on Tiffany Stratton herself.
Okay.
And that interesting dynamic you mentioned is why, to me, this match was just really boring and waiting for the thing to happen. Which is, unfortunately, is a recurring theme in WWE stuff of recent time, in the if there is like another element that's mentioned or hinted. So I can't remember what it was in the video package, but it was something to the effect of, as was mentioned, like, don't cash it in on me. It's like, okay, that means she's getting involved then.
Yeah.
And we basically got another circumstance of that in the main event, which we'll get to, where something was mentioned right before the match. And it's like, okay, well, at the very least, nothing's going to happen then until whatever that is, it like happens. And I do want to say, I freaking love Bailey. Nia Jax, Matty, I agree with all your sentiments, but mixed bag, as it were. But I just think this Bailey title reign's been a waste. For all the build-up with the damage control stuff, when you look back at all of her title defenses, thinking back on it now, and this may come across as very harsh, it just feels like she's been on the show for the sake of being on the show.
That's been her. That's been her this entire year since she's won the Royal Rumble.
I think that's where I was trying to lead, is in regards to, it seems like they haven't focused on Bayley, but everyone else. So
yeah,
but is that also? I think to agree, it's also a fault of the roster they've given around Bayley as well. Because
a very fair point.
yeah.
Somebody, I think it was Wrestle Talk in their review. They brought up the same point you made, Jeremy, and they actually compared it to Damian Priest's run as champion as well.
I'd agree, honestly.
Yeah. It's like literally, I an awful lot of it is I just think Triple H just loves heels. Funny that,
and
I think he just loves heels.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just to add on my points. Just when you look at like the women's roster on SmackDown, it's tag teams or factions and stuff like that, and there's no individuality. Again, that's also kind of true of Raw. There's all these factions so far. There's no like individual like characters to stand out from the factions and groups. So it's kind of it's like everyone was excited when factions started under Trips, and it's like great, this is all cool. It's like can everyone stop being in a faction, please?
And they did a draft. Like, this shouldn't be an issue.
Yes.
One last point that Peter Siddons posted on YouTube here. He says he'd like to see Piper Niven and Nia, as I feel that could be fun. Would you imagine Piper Niven in all of her ICW babyface glory? That would be amazing.
And I think this also adds credence to the fact of Nia being champion, regardless whether they're face or heel. It does freshen it up quite a bit. And already we're kind of excited at the prospect of what we could get, let alone the Tiffany stuff. And when you think back, when it came to Bayley, the entire build-up was, is she going to be Io after everything that's happened?
Yeah.
And after that, realistically, like, what would have happened? Again, Bayley's awesome. It just sucks, really. That's my main thought. Sorry, Harriet, please continue.
No, I was going to say, I've remembered her attire when she came in. It was very much old school Bayley, the hugger gear with the tassels. I loved seeing that. That was good. So it's just like, yay!
I feel the need. I need to read this out verbatim from the Twitch. For one fell flown nay, who says, can't believe that promo refusing to draft anyone. They're being called the drafted excluder. Let it settle. Let's see. The joke will come when it's ready.
Oh, I know the joke.
I mean, I could. I'll play the role of sweet innocent someone else. Of they have a draft excluder now when football teams take free kicks. You know.
Where's the Curb the Enthusiasm theme?
Yeah, I was going to say that played in my head.
I don't have it on standby. Sorry.
That played in my head, believe me.
Absolutely.
Like, you just know that Belf has now like screenshotted the moment. Stared into the camera.
They've screenshotted all of us in regards to us just like.
It would just be the work of art of people staring into the abyss. Anyway, moving on. So we move on to one of the high-profile matches, not for no titles. It's at long last Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, with the added addition of Seth Rollins as a flamboyant guest referee, and with a brief appearance from RefCam. This one was basically they're just gonna beat the S out of each other, and whatever story beats happen, because I think a lot of people were thinking this was going to be like a play on a previous SummerSlam match. I think it was
SummerSlam 97 with
Brett Taker and
with Shawn.
Yeah, and all that. I mean, CM Punk's attire was kind of homaging Brett anyway.
Yeah,
with
literally.
The pink and the black, yeah.
Yeah, even what was it? Even McIntyre came out like dressed like I don't know what McIntyre was dressed in. He just came out like green leather, very dark green leather.
A snake or a dragon? Because it was like he had scales on his lapels.
There was something with the AR stuff of a dragon. Yeah,
I was thinking because I asked when we did the live chat, I asked, what colours did Shawn Michaels come out in when he had his match against Bret Hart at Survivor Series?
Oh, that's a fair
For
point.
the screw job.
Wasn't
I
he the-
want to say it was black with silver hearts. I want to say.
Yeah,
Don't ask me where I'm
because
pulling that info from.
it
just
felt
came to my
like
brain.
it felt like a theme to me because we all knew, like the SummerSlam 1997 thing when we had the special guest referee for that,
Hmm.
and of course, CM Punk came out in his full Bret Hart color glory, and I was beginning to think, did Drew come out in DX colors? Because that would then
Is
be
he a degenerate now?
yeah, that be DX versus Hart Foundation we're seeing before us.
Hmm.
And that's why I genuinely asked. I thought this was an actual deliberate attempt by the pair of them.
Hmm.
I mean, there was rumor would Punk come out in Bret Hart gear, and then when I saw the pink boots, I was like, "Yep, definitely a thing."
Totally telegraphed it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the story for this match was built around Rollins' involvement. Obviously, would he call it down the middle? Because he particularly didn't get on with either one of these people, particularly Punk per se. And it all kind of revolved around the bracelet, the same bracelet that McIntyre took off a very bloodied Punk many, many weeks ago. Punk managed to get the bracelet back for a bit, and then in some sort of kerfuffle, Rollins somehow got a bracelet. And
I think the scream that everyone let out in the watch party was phenomenal. We saw the
Now it's
bracelet
like-
on his arm. Oh no!
I
like,
honestly think that was probably the one most innocent thing Seth did the entire match because he probably just took
This
it
is
and put
it.
it on his wrist for safekeeping.
yeah.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
it because he didn't want to lose it.
Yeah, because most times, like, Rollins was just happy to let them fight. I mean, there was the bit with the chair where McIntyre's about to hit him with a chair, and Rollins just going, no. It's like you can't do that. It's like, come on, you want to see this too. Just turn away, look away, and let
Yeah.
me do what must be done, per se, in that sort of way. But yeah, it's like Punk's obsession with getting his bracelet back cost him. Gave a GTS to Rollins and walked into a low blow for McIntyre, who claymored him, and that was it.
And he still didn't get the bracelet.
And he still didn't get the bracelet back either. No, McIntyre took it and scampered off. And he was and post show, him and Wade Barrett were going to go get beers. Come on, Drew, we'll go get some beers.
I didn't watch the post show. Now I wish I did.
No, I didn't either.
Zero regret.
I will say Seth as a referee was great. I know there were some moments he kind of turned away. He's like, I'll let that slide, don't worry. And then there were other moments where he went into serious mode and then went full on rant on Punk. I think you said to me, Ian, it was like one of them was the Sabu pad.
Yes, to Rollins.
That was an amusing line. I will give him that.
I forgot that happened. It's quite funny.
Oh my god.
So I'll try and articulate this in as quick of a way as I can. This match was the biggest disappointment on the entire show. For me, the build-up was all about Punk and Drew finally getting a chance to beat the crap out of each other. We basically got that for 1.5 minutes at the very start. Then it all became about Seth. And I get that Seth is an, be it right or wrong, an integral element of the story now. But for me, as a fan wanting to see that confrontation finally, we didn't get what I thought we were going to get.
I think I have a theory behind that.
Go on.
I think it could be because obviously Punk has come back from injury.
Fair.
And literally after Survivor Series when he went into Rumble and then he had the injury after. I don't know. I think I did say this to Ian as well. It's just like playing it safe with Seth in there, making it like obviously the brutality in the first few minutes because I thought we would witness something brutal, but it was somewhat tame. But I think in a way it's probably to protect Punk because obviously his first match back in 12 years, his first singles match in 12 years, and it's kind of well, you don't want him to be injured again after this, and then him off for another half a year, and it's just like well. Another.
But then I guess my thinking, well, I totally agree with what you're saying, by the way, Harry, but my thinking would be then is, hypothetically, if there was worries about that, save it for the next show.
Yeah, there is that. Also, there's no way this storyline is even remotely over.
Oh, yeah, we're going to basically get the role reversal now of
Yeah.
Punk and Drew for the past 6 months. And it's going to be great fun because going back to what I said at the start of the show about this being a very moments-based show, the big moment of this match was Punk now effectively being the crybaby and that costing him. Because now at this point, Drew's got his win. He's like, cool, did my thing, got my win over him, beat him up. I can move on. Sure you will, Drew. Yeah. But it's that thing of now we're going to get the role reversal. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to go. Because we've got like this. It wouldn't surprise me if this carries on for at least another 4 months somehow. Yeah. Like come like the end of the year or so. But yeah, just for the reasons I said, to me, this was the biggest disappointment on the show because of what I wanted to happen based on how it had all built up and how heated it got. And when Seth was added as the ref, it was always going to change the dynamic. I just didn't think it was going to be as hyper-focused on it being about what is Seth doing the whole time. And that really took me out of the that took me out of it in the moment. Not to be a negative Nancy, which I know I'm being, but it's just genuinely.
No.
It's like, again, it's like I remember the story beats rather than the actual match itself, which I can understand is when it's like when you have this blood feud going on for a while and it not happening to that degree. I mean, I think Harriet's point of Punk looking after Punk, it's probably the strongest reason why it felt more tame than it should be. Maybe they'll have a more brutal one down the line. Who knows? I mean, there is bad blood coming up. Who knows?
It's indicative of what we were saying from the very start of the review. It wasn't really a wrestling match we were watching. It was a story being played out in the ring. That's essentially what this was. So in that regard, I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it.
It's the only example I can think of off the top of my head. It's like, and this is going back a bit, I admit everybody, but roll with me. WrestleMania 25, when the main event was Triple H and Randy Orton, and the build up to that, like, Stephanie had like been RKO'd while Triple H was handcuffed to the ring rope.
Yeah.
Or someone had done like an invasion of someone's home. It was like this real big blood feud of a main event, and it starts with a lockup.
Yeah, which we didn't get much of most of any of these matches in SummerSlam at all. Like they all started with a beatdown.
Yeah.
Or just
but again, no, and in an attempt to not just to make my entire thoughts negative, the pivotal moments in this match were done exceptionally well. Like the moment when Punk sees the bracelet on Rollins' arm, chef's kiss of a moment.
Yeah,
for all stuff that was going on around that. Yeah. But my thoughts still stand.
The camera work as well, the way it panned to the hand as well, was kind of, you knew straight away. Yeah.
But we shall see how that story continues on. We move on to, I think this is the penultimate match on the card. And I think if I had to pick a favorite match from the whole night, I'd probably say it's this one. It's Damian Priest taking on Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest was a bit pissed off early in the evening because Dirty Dom was being a dick. He's gone off with Liv Morgan. They've gone to have chicken tenders somewhere. Somewhere in Ohio, that sort of stuff. Basically, he got angry. He shouted at Finn. And before that match, he kind of went, I'm sorry, Finn. I lost my cool and I shouldn't do it with my friends. And Finn went, that's okay. We're all buddies anyway. That's what we call, ladies and gentlemen.
Key detail, if I may. He said, I'm sorry too.
I'm sorry too. And that is foreboding.
We've watched this too many times. We know what happens.
It's like, don't worry, we're friends. Friends. Yes, we're friends.
Nothing's gonna happen, I swear.
So, obviously, the feud between Priest and Gunther, despite the fact it's been kind of very short run, actually has been quite fun to watch, and just to see them kind of just really amp up their positions, like Gunther being all about wrestling's prestige and decadence and making sure it's the purest kind of sport in itself. And then you've got Damian Priest, who's had a very trying to find the right words here. His story of his upbringing and all that, and the path he's taken to WWE and where he is has been well documented. There's a brand new WWE 24 documentary coming out, I think, tonight as well, which goes into that in quite big detail. So you've kind of made Gunther the sort of like the upper class villain, and Damian Priest is the everyman hero per se.
Gunther is Jafar.
Yeah.
And Damian Priest was Aladdin.
Oh my god!
So who's the genie?
As soon as I heard the word street rat, I immediately thought you've been watching Aladdin.
I literally, like for BotchaMania, I really want to. If I had the editing skills, I would do that song at the very end of one jump ahead of just like Damian Priest singing the riff rat street rat at the end. If I had the skills, I would. But you can have that idea and take it. Whoever wants it, carry on.
But yeah, this is a view that was boiling up quite nicely, and it showed in this match because my word, this was stiff, very
good.
It's a Gunther match.
Exactly.
It was basically it's summed up as the chops of Gunther against the kickboxing skills of Damian Priest. That was basically what it is. So basically, when Gunther's doing the big slaps on the chest, Priest is doing the roundhouse kicks. It was fun. It was exciting. I really enjoyed this match.
This was great. Yeah.
There's the bit where it's like Damian, I think Priest, it was either slapped or he kicked him so hard that Gunther's chest was actually bleeding at some point.
I think it was a slap.
Oh,
I think it was a slap. Yeah.
It's one of the chops,
It basically, because he had his match with Finn Balor earlier that week, he still had like the spores of war in his chest. And so it never really fully healed. So when he got slapped, that's when it opened up the wounds again. That's literally what that was.
I think he looked up at the camera and he saw himself. He was bleeding. And he's just like, right. Okay.
It's like fine. I know. It's like fine. I've got covered in blood. That's fine. I'll carry on. I'll fight it off.
Thus, Gunther and Damian Priest winning the award for this show of being the most intelligent people in terms of utilizing the big screen to see what the hell's happening.
That's our VAR of the evening.
So it comes to a head where Priest manages to rally against Gunther's heavy strikes and all that sort of stuff, does South of Heaven, does Razor's Edge. And at this point, Finn Balor's come out to cheer him and said, yeah, you're my friend. You're my friend. Right. I mean, nothing's going to happen yet, is it? And
I think at this point as well, Gunther had really started to try and use a sleeper.
Yes.
Which is a big element of that as well. So it was Finn trying to rally Damian as well. Please continue.
Yeah. So we've had big rally. Damian Priest hits both his finishers. He, for some explicable reason, decides to push him towards the ropes to do the pin. And you got the 1 and the 2, and Finn Balor just gallantly puts Gunther's leg on the rope to break up the count. And everyone just went, oh. And
then we just got an evil stare from Finn.
Finn Balor's facial game on this was
Finn Balor's facial game.
True. I know. I've
There's some connotations here, Dane.
Yes.
Please continue. Sorry.
Yes.
I wasn't ready for that.
I will say this. I've just I thought of a comparison. Remember Ms. Girl?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much Finn.
No, Finn was much more sinister. Finn was
it was sinister. Literally, it was kind of Grinch levels, kind of like sinister, evil, sort of.
Yes. It just wasn't. And then Damien saw it all on the big screen and went, "What the fuck? What were you doing?"
Yeah, he literally was just like looking at it, it's like, huh.
You're not my friend anymore, are you?
Yeah, no, there was a point before when Gunther had the second sleeper. He literally reached out and grabbed Finn by the throat and tried to pull him.
It was like a Bart Simpson moment.
Yeah, that was
I'm gonna get you, Finn, and then Gunther chokes him out, and Gunther is probably rightfully so the new world heavyweight champion in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was a good decision. I think I called that.
Yeah.
Didn't I? I think I called that in one of our previous reviews that he'd get that title by Bash at Berlin. So it was. You'd love to see it.
I had this torn in regards to who was going to win. I thought Damien was going to win and Gunther would win it at Bash at Berlin, but I'm not angry because I think the whole storyline building up to it of Gunther being an absolute dick to Damien was really good because he literally was just like you said, you don't deserve that title. Even Raw before, just give me the title. It's fine. It's fine. Just give it to me, and we'll call it quits. And then Damien's just like came out, boom, like nope. But it was good in regards to storyline. We knew the Finn turn was happening. It was just. It was a case. As soon as I saw Finn come out, I was like, "Yeah, this is definitely happening." And then obviously, the whole thing with him being rolled to the rope, I'm like, well, this is where it's pinpointed where it's going to happen. But that was the only kind of thing that kind of was not a letdown, but more of a, well, this is the moment sort of thing. But
the only thing I might add to that in terms of the letdown element is I really wish when push came to shove, Gunther was the one that just won the belt. Because from how dominant he had been with the IC title and everything like that, if anyone was just going to basically chop the piss out of someone and win, I think it would be Gunther. Because unfortunately, while again, a great moment, first of all, to see Gunther winning the title, and the great moment of Evil Finn, if you will, and Damian Priest, to me, it took away the actual genuinely monumental moment of Gunther becoming the champion.
This is where Bash in Berlin needs to come into play. Don't have him lose it there. Absolutely cement his place as being champion with whatever match he has at Bash at Berlin. To that being said, Peter Sidden on YouTube has said on the chat, Gunther winning is great, but like Priest, he has no one on his level to face who isn't seemingly tied up in the storyline already.
He's already beat up the whole roster
very
too.
Valid. Yeah, very valid. What do you do? Do you have him face off against, like, dare I say, Sami Zayn again?
I mean, I have read a report on the news sites that they might be lining him up for part of the John Cena retirement tour.
I have heard that as well.
That'd be next year, though.
Yeah, so I can imagine that might be a Mania match for next year, possibly.
Yeah. So
again, it's either finding the right opponents or building the right stories to make it work. I mean, it's great. It's great. He has the belt. It's well deserved. We know he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He deserves it. But yeah,
the grand return of Vinci, first opponent.
Oh,
just here, ready to do the smiles of.
I was going to say, before we move on, though, Harry, I think we all accidentally cut you off there multiple times. So what was your thought? Sorry, want to make sure you get your words in.
I think I've forgotten, so I'm sorry.
I was talking about like Gunther winning on his own and such. And like really cementing that element, and then
I think with this title reign so far, it hasn't been won cleanly throughout. Every title has kind of, like with Damien, we talked about it before, and now it is a case. Is this curse going to continue? Hopefully it does. I think it probably ends here now, to be fair. Also, another thing, maybe Finn might take a swing at it. Like, I helped you win the title. I know it's not going to, but maybe future.
It's an idea. I just imagine if they do that, Priest will just come out to cause the DQ. Because basically now Finn and Priest are going to be locked up in a feud for the next couple of months, give or take.
Yeah, I think the dream here is that Gunther does with the World Heavyweight Championship exactly what he did with the IC Championship and just give it that extra shine by being an all-dominant heel champion. I mean, yeah, it feels like people are just going to feed people to him. But maybe, just maybe, like under somebody like Gunther, that title is just going to get elevated. So that's what you'd love to see there. Don't just take it back off him, like within a month or two. Like, let him keep it until, well, basically the end of the next chapter, wherever that be. You know?
Is Chad Gable still heel?
Yes.
He is, but he's with the White Six at the moment, dealing with that.
Because if you ever want a great wrestling match for Bash at Berlin, just saying, because Gunther is going to be cheered. Also, request for WWE, who are clearly watching. I want Gunther to start doing some bilingual promos. I want him just to start going, no, you're coming to Germany, you will learn German. And just start like subtitling him or give him like an official translator. Let Kaiser just translate him. Be great. It's like, you're not good enough to hear me speak your language, so you will hear German, which is still not his first language, but you know what I mean.
That sounds an awful lot like evil foreign heel type stuff there, Jamie, because didn't they try that with Nakamura?
Yeah, but we know it's only going to last barely a month. So
it's
Just for that
just for the event,
pay-per-view.
just for that pay-per-view, and then we move on.
Yeah.
So between this match and the main event, we have the wondrous feat of Jelly Roll giving a chokeslam to Austin Theory with R-Truth and The Miz. I do not care 1 ounce of shit about this bit. We
the
move
only
on.
good part about it,
It was a
The
good choke
only-
slam.
It's a good chokeslam.
the 2 good parts about this segment were the choke slam, and also I think it was either Waller or Theory burying MGK for also saying your music is also pretty crap or something like that. It was a wonderful put down. It's just like, thank you. Thank you.
There we go. And then we
So,
also have the. Sorry, carry on, Harriet. Sorry, I don't want to.
Oh,
Cut
no,
you
I
off.
was going to say, does this lead on to the breakup? Because these two are going to break up at some point, aren't they?
They have to. We're expecting this now.
Yeah.
It's either they can't. They just can't go. Oh, I didn't mean to push you in front of. I don't know. Getting a chokeslam from J-Roll. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push you in the way of. I don't know. Getting kicked in the face by DIY. All that sort of stuff.
What do you do with those 2 afterwards?
I don't know. Well, one
Rap
of them.
battle.
No.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Just no.
Moderated by John Cena. Part
Oh,
of his
good.
retirement tour. There you go.
That's 3 shades of wrong, Jamie. Why would you do that?
Because I didn't like this show. As in SummerSlam, not BunkaMania. I love BunkaMania, but you know, SummerSlam.
Jeremy woke up and chose violence today.
Jeremy, I don't
I
say
am
this
rap
often. I don't try to say this often to people on the show, but stop it. Stop it now. Love you, Jeremy.
I'll leave. Oh no, wait, that way. Sorry.
I'll go down the steps. And then we also had the nightmare vision of Otis using Manscaped products.
Oh, she.
Oh,
Now.
my.
Pure cinema.
Nice,
Where
was
else
crazy.
in the world
No.
can you get a commercial genuinely horrifying at the thought we are about to see, putting it bluntly, a man shave his dick and balls live on a pay-per-view? Because that is
Bluntly
not
being a
what
razor, I
happened.
get that.
But that's
It's
what happened.
It
But
started
holy
out.
heck,
It
holy
started out.
heck did we think it was going to happen
It
for a moment.
started out so weirdly innocently with Baron Corbin coming in with a head shape thing going, "Hey Apollo, let's just make you even more bolder," in that sort of sense. Like, okay, this is a weird, stupid advert, and then when it just pans. There've been bad product promos, and then they've just been walking nightmares. This is a walking nightmare. And it's up there with the fucking golden egg from Red Notice.
Now,
What about
the
dude
one,
wipes?
if I may just say, aside from the nearly horrific things that we thought we were going to see, including Otis sort of trimming his own chest hair, stomach hair, whatever you want to call it, belly hair, I will say, I did laugh. I did laugh when someone picked up a bottle because Apollo Crews was like sitting on the chair. And I think Baron just said, "Make sure to use the dome cleanser on your bald head." It's like, that's actually quite funny.
Jeremy, I have one query to all of this. Were you meant to say putting it bluntly before going off on your spiel there?
I will let
It went
you
well.
be the judge of that.
When Otis was too busy, like, well, it was a thing to behold, everybody. It was a thing to behold. If you don't
You
know
need
what we're
to
talking
watch
about,
it, basically.
you need to watch this because at no point did that Manscaped product actually work. It removed nothing.
Now, to be fair,
Maybe the
speaking as a
battery was
rather
low, I don't
large
know.
individual myself, sometimes body hair, when you're a wrestler, can provide challenges in life. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I was hoping there was more.
Oh heck no! I'm not getting us banned. Are you kidding me?
That's for the After Dark podcast.
Yeah,
I kid.
I'm not talking about
I
me.
kid.
So
I kid.
What I will say
Um,
though, to close though, Otis, the crew that they had for this advert was perfect.
Yes, if they're not going to be used on the main card anyway, and you find them a fun way to do it, then because the fact is we're talking about means it's memorable, maybe for wrong reasons, but it was still kind of memorable in that sort of way.
There was I think.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, I think there is like a meme photo dropped of like Maxine looking at Otis, and also Akira Tozawa, just like that, and I'm like, oh. I haven't seen many memes of it yet, but I think I took a photo of it after, and I was a selfie. I was like, "What did I just watch?"
You watched the reverse of Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what you watched.
I have a suggestion. Actually, there's two. Number one, Otis, have you heard of Veet? But also,
no, don't use Veet.
But also,
I used it many years
ago.
For my chest and. It's weird.
But also,
it's not great.
If we're never going to really have the New Day back to its full power, why don't we just pivot it and amalgamate it with the Alpha Academy? Because you got Kofi, you got Xavier, and then you got the other three. That would be a lovely little comedy faction to have, you know?
But I want to see the Final Testament promote Manscaped, though. Karrion Kross will have the Final Testament. You can have Karrion Kross.
I do remember
when
Scarlett
Stitch using it on him.
I do remember Stitch using Veet, so she, we'll move on from the Veet discussion here.
Yes, I mean we've spent far more time on the reaction.
What we can say though is that we have now discussed this advert and surrounding details about it for longer than the advert itself.
Yes.
Good job, team.
It worked. Yay. Anyway, main event time. Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa for the undisputed WWE Championship in Bloodline Rules, which was announced for the SmackDown before. And before, Solo came out, Resident Weekend cosplayer, came out ready for his match. And then we go backstage to Cody Rhodes in his vodka-sponsored trailer park. Or trailer, RV.
An entire trailer park.
I mean, have a big campus for Cody. Sorry, the vodka-sponsored RV home. He's in there. He's getting ready. He comes out of the bus. I'm waiting for him there because this apparently will be his last time. Some of his last time touring with Cody. Fair of the Dog made a WWE appearance.
Yeah,
which was
Hero's retirement tour.
Oh,
yes,
I'm so happy to see him.
He had a little walk. It was kind of like, come on, boy, let's go see all the friends quickly. Have a little walk.
I was so nervous.
And then during this little walk, bumps in to a returning Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson. Just casually in the background, just going, "Hey, Cody, how's it going? Do you want a clock?" No, he didn't say he wanted the clock.
I'm Arn Anderson. Welcome to SummerSlam's main event. But before we get to the main event,
I just want to tell you, Cody, I think you're doing a good job. Okay. And by the way, your friends are going to come out and help you at some point. Oh, okay. Because you have friends in high places. I thought when he said friends in high places, I thought, no, they haven't got Sting involved, have they?
Yeah.
I said that.
As well. Because it's kind of like when you're in a high place, like, well, who comes in from the? Oh no, don't promise Sting, or don't try that. That'll scare me. I mean, yes, he didn't tell Cody to use a clock. I don't think it would have helped in any shape or form. I mean, Cody won the match anyway. And then yes, after a little bit more of a longer walk, a little passing of fire off to Akira before he went into the main area. Donned the giant Cody skull mask for he put it on for 3 minutes, for like 2 minutes, and then took it back off again. What the?
Pretty much.
I mean,
visual.
It's a nice mask.
It's
a nice mask and nice photos. But yes, and then he goes down to his match.
Yeah.
I mean, much of this match is it's like back and forth. Oh, look, Bloodline. Oh, look, there's KO and Randy Orton to clear off Tamba Tonga and Tongaloa. Tongaloa now unable to find the corner post, it seems, when he's getting involved in a match. I mean, yes, it's like, charge at Cody. Okay, to the corner. I'll do it to the ropes.
Oh.
No. He brings us joy.
The Cliff Notes version, everyone, is 25 minutes after the bell started. That's when important things actually happen.
Yeah.
But if I made your attention to one Randall Keith Orton, because Kevin Owens has come out, he has got down to the ring in relatively quick fashion. And it's a long ramp.
He seemed uncomfortable doing it.
Yep. He was at a good pace, got in the ring, started pounding some heads and whatnot. And there's me thinking, we were told friends, plural. Surely there is someone else. But why didn't they come out with Kevin? And then we heard, I hear voices in my head. And at that point, I thought, yes, of course, because he needs his own entrance so everyone can hear it. And Randy Orton, at best, walked with a moderate pace.
I'm happy to be here.
It was like a casual stroll.
I want to add, this is also one of the top moments of the night, by the way, because this match was dull as hell. This match was dull as dishwater for most of it. But Randy, thank you. But Randy Orton, at best, walking with a moderate pace down the aisle, looking really chirpy and happy, while everyone else in the arena is either doing one of two things. They are either being like, oh my God, it's Randy Orton. And some people being like, Randy, hurry the hell up. Your friends are getting pounded in the ring.
But he's busy talking to fans. He's busy saying, hey, guys.
But what Randy started doing was he started going, hey, how's it going? And just high-fiving everybody as he's going.
He's here. He's happy to be here, Jeremy. He's happy to be here. He's happy to be here to do some RKOs and then just to leave.
Randy Orton, he needs to have a T-shirt that basically says, get shredded, walk briskly, RKO.
I would have loved at one point as he's walking to the ring, suddenly he turns around and is like, oh shit, yeah, I need to really get down and help Cody.
Well, he was already looking silly doing this, like, I'm happy to be here, guys. It's just like, Kevin Owens, who kind of looked uncomfortable doing the heavy rush to the ring, clearly because of the long distance and all that sort of stuff. But Randy Orton's just kind of like, I'm here, having time of my life. This is cool. Happy to be here. I'm a 14-time champion, don't you know? All that sort of stuff.
It was at this moment
I can see why Cody does this.
It was like before Randy went out, you could just imagine someone said, we need to hit 25 minutes. Randy, take your time.
And he's just gone, you know what? I got you.
Yeah.
I hear voices.
Take a drink.
But like the first 25 minutes of this match, like that fun malark notwithstanding, because like I say, for me, this match was dull as dishwater.
Yeah,
it was.
It was so slow. You knew nothing of actual importance was going to happen until you had seen everybody. And it's like, and when the people have been taken out, like Tama and Tonga and whatnot, and it's just, you're thinking, there's still one more person we've not seen yet. I wonder who that could be and when. Ian.
Oh yeah. I think. What was it? I think when the watch along, I was just going, "Where's Jacob? Where's Jacob?"
Yeah, you kept saying, "Where's Jacob? Where's Jacob?"
It's like everyone's asking, "Where's Jacob?" But we haven't seen him yet. Where's Jacob?
Yeah.
Here he is. Here he is doing the insane stuff again, which people are definitely enjoying him for.
You were making Jacob Blinking Fatu sound like he was a character in a kid's picture book there. It was like, where's Jacob? There's Jacob.
I mean, honestly, I saw it. It did happen. I saw it. He did do that.
It was a lovely day for the bloodline. They were having a picnic. Solo Sokoa was going, where's Jacob? I don't know where Jacob is. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa both looked at him and shrugged. And they went, we haven't seen Jacob. Where's Jacob? They all looked to the right. There's Jacob. There's Jacob Fatu. And he did a moonsault splash, and everyone was happy. The end.
Do you know the thing about Jacob Fatu? We said this like when he debuted. We said this at Money in the Bank during his sort of minimal appearance in that 6-man. But just his presence, like from the little I've seen of him in WWE, his presence is so damn good.
It's amazing.
He's got such a way about moving around the ring and whatnot, and just the aura he emits. I can't wait to see him being in more actual high profile matches, because it's one of the few great moments of this match involved him, but also just him being there.
Yeah.
He sort of just elevated this to a degree. It's really, really amazing, and I can't wait to see him do more. But please continue, because you mentioned the splash.
Yeah, so he has his moments to battle Cody, gets it to the point where he puts Cody on the table, does the big splash, hits it. He starts selling a leg injury, which may or may not be partially legitimate. We're still waiting proper confirmation, but it's kind of like either it's being played for kayfabe or there is something seriously wrong. We don't know just yet. But he plays for a leg injury, which clearly, in a storytelling perspective, puts him out for the rest of the match because of what happens next. Because just when the battle seems like it's reaching its end, the big music starts and Roman Reigns returns after so many months away to apparently a very big pop. Like I said, I've watched the clips. The pop is big, but I can't. Everyone's saying it's like a huge, one of the biggest pops ever. It's like, to me, I didn't hear it like that. It might be me. But it is great to see Reigns back. I mean, they have been building this up. It's been building up for months on end that he's coming back. Came out to his like final boss music at Mania 40. So if that's the main thing from now, I'm happy because I love that version.
Was it a different mix then? Because
It's
I
so
thought
good.
I thought the mix was definitely different, but I couldn't place if we'd heard it before or not.
Yeah, it's the music for his entrance at WrestleMania 40 on night 2 with the choir and the big sort of
I see
orchestral
Orchestra.
yeah. Reigns gets into the ring, Superman punch, spears the Solo, and walks out and just basically just goes,
Bye.
"Okay, Cody, you can finish this off."
But there was a tiny little nod to each other as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that Simpsons gag where like the people just keep nodding at each other. There was like just one of those each, but you could barely see
the
it.
spy, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, Cody hits a crossroads. That's it. He retains. And yeah, the Bloodline chapter, whatever on now, is going to continue now with old Bloodline. Oh, the OTC. What does OTC stand for? I don't know.
I thought that it stood for One True Chief, but apparently it's called it's the original tribal chief.
I just wanted to be something completely different and
it
not
took me a
related
few
to
moments.
It's just like one terrific guy. There we go.
1, 2, cheese.
The talking about body language and telling stuff in the ring, like the closing moments of that match, Cody does not take his gaze off of like Roman at all, even when he does his finishing move.
Yeah,
because part
There's
of the
a great
fun
camera
intrigue
shot.
about this. I'm so sorry, Harriet. After you, I think I've got a slight delay on my end, so I'll wait for you to finish.
No, I was going to say there was a great camera shot of you see from Cody's point of view, looking at Roman as like, "What are you going to do?" sort of thing, and then that's when he hit Solo with the spear. But still, it was kind of like, what could happen, sort of thing. Sorry,
because for me, thank you. For me, the biggest intrigue part, because the logic would dictate, well, Roman's coming to get Solo, but Cody doesn't know that. And that played into this a little bit. And it was a really, really just great moment. And just those two just staring at each other. And it clearly being like, we will meet again, but now is not the time, sort of thing. It just played really, really well. And also, the moment when Roman just went in the ring and just immediately decked Solo, that I think was the bigger pop than just his music.
Yeah.
Because that was the moment when everyone just went, yes, Civil War type thing. That was the moment that cemented it. And also, did you notice, now be it legitimate injury or not, but Jacob Fatu was never anywhere near Roman.
Yeah.
So at some point, we're going to get Jacob Fatu and Roman, and I cannot wait.
Hold that thought, because apparently, according to Peter Siddon on YouTube, he was spotted with a walking boot on. Whether he's playing the gimmick or not, there is talk about him potentially being injured as a result of that match. So we will see on that one. But yeah, I'd be very excited to see that.
So I'm just having a quick see if there was anything else popping up at the moment.
Carry on. This is gonna sound dumb, but I need to get it out. So Tama and Tanga, their uniforms. I couldn't help but look at it and think G.I. Joe Cobra.
To be fair, that's more or less that's what they used to wear in New Japan as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but it's just like every
the
time
sort
I
of
see
Crimson
it,
Viper outfits that they wear. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I will say, the first half of this match, I was just like, okay. It's like, when are we going to get to the fireworks factory?
I think someone near our, I think someone among, like in the area where we were doing where we were watching, I think some people were legitimately asleep.
Yep.
To be fair, was
it
like about 20 to 4 in the morning by that point, if I remember
Probably.
rightly?
I think it was. Yeah, because we were. Yeah, I think it was
I
around
started
that
doing
time.
two
So,
squats during the match.
I'll be absolutely honest with you. That was the match where I was starting to drift off, and that was even after having 2 caffeinated beverages during the show. So
I think it was the case of I know it was Bloodline Rules. I was like, can we just get to the Bloodline Rules now? Because I know that's when it's going to pick up, because it was very much back and forth. And it's just like, this is somewhat similar that happened at WrestleMania. And then when things kicked in, that's when it kicked in. But it was kind of, we've seen it before, but also, so it wasn't my favorite match of the night. I knew it was a predicted win, obviously, with Roman coming back, because there was the build up to it, especially mention of it, and showed a visual of him on SmackDown the night before.
Yeah, see, the problem with this being, it is a Triple H booked main event match in one of the 4 biggest PLEs in WWE calendars. Of course, it was going to go long. And sometimes a match doesn't need to go long. It just doesn't.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't need to have the same as WrestleMania, because it did feel like the same as WrestleMania, just with different people. Just like, same
in a way,
family, but
in a way, it kind of. I think that was by design, as in you fought one tribal chief. You are now. Like, literally, this is the mirror image. You are now facing off against the next tribal chief. I feel that in a weird way, this is slowly building towards Cody versus Rock at the next WrestleMania. He is the final boss. So he's had Roman. He's had the next tribal chief. I don't know why I keep saying had. That has totally different connotations. Whoever the next guy, probably, as you say, Jacob Fatu, maybe fighting Jacob Fatu somewhere between now and then. And then finally, he's facing off against Rock. I feel that by design, this is where we're going.
I'm gonna throw it out there now. WrestleMania Night 1, Roman and Cody versus The Rock and either Jacob or Solo. That's what I'm thinking.
I really hope Solo's status doesn't get diminished by this. I really don't, because I think Solo has still got a way to go, but proved he can stand tall.
He can, I think, and I think quite a number of the other wrestling kind of outlets have kind of highlighted this, or even their discussions whether you're in podcasts like Wrestle Talk. The booking after Solo completely decimated Cena has not really been good for Solo. If you're trying to build up to be this monster, and he's not being a monster that could be a tribal chief in this storyline, you're not really doing much.
Do you know?
Because it's only...
There's a thing I apply. I don't use it often, but I call it Ryback syndrome, where at the time he was their big Goldberg guy with his Feed Me More, and we all do it as a joke now. But what you had there was a dominating like force of nature. And he burnt too hard, too fast. And then what do you do with that? Nothing, because you burnt him out. That's it. You burnt out his character with a few matches. And I feel that you shouldn't really do that often. And I feel this could be applicable to Solo, unfortunately. So what do you do?
Yeah.
But I think Civil War is coming, though. I'm looking forward to it. How is how is Roman going to bring Jimmy and Jay back into the fold? That is my question, because that will be the most intriguing part of this.
Sami Zayn would probably be the pivotal.
Imagine.
Yeah. we got a couple of months to see how it all pans out. Because after Bashing Berlin, we've got Bare Blood. So expect things to start, which is incidentally all in Bloodline font. So clearly the next big chapter is going to probably happen at this PLE here. Anyway, I think, and that's pretty much SummerSlam in a nutshell. So yeah, it's a show about moments. Some moments are really, really good, and we can't remember much of the wrestling because we're just too busy talking about the story beats in that sort of way. So yes, I think it's time to start wrapping things up there. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoy the content that we do, hit the like. If you're on Twitch and you want to find out when we go live next, hit the follow button. It's completely free to do so. With YouTube, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, like the video, and if you want to get notified when we're available on YouTube, hit the subscribe button there as well. There is brand new content starting very, very soon as we come out of August into September. We've already started trialing some of it already. So we've got BunkaMania Goes to the Movies, which will be our movie podcast show where we talk about recent cinema releases and the occasional trip into the madness of wrestling movies. There is, I would say, a pilot episode up ready to go, and that is Deadpool and Wolverine, which Harriet and Jeremy had a little chat about. So if you want to check that out, you can do over on our YouTube channel right now, and it's also probably in the VODs on Twitch as well. But I think those episodes might not always be live. I think for BunkaMania Goes to the Movies, they will probably be kind of pre-recorded in a sense. So it might be very more towards YouTube in the future. We've also got BunkaMania Watch List starting very shortly as well. That's us talking about streaming reviews, so things on Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, that sort of stuff. I think we are going to kick it off with Batman Caped Crusader very soon, because most of us are watching already. I'm about over halfway through. I think some of the guys have just started to watch as well. I think there's a lot of discussion there, so that'll be coming very, very soon. And if you like your quizzes, there'll be Quiz Smash starting again in September on, I'm thinking, the last Wednesday of every month at the moment, but we'll get that locked in very, very soon. So plenty of content coming on the BunkaMania bandwagon, but the team also have their own fair share of original content that they like to do as well. And let's start off with Jeremy.
Easy way to find me, folks. Giraffemy. You saw my name on screen there just beforehand. Jeraffemy. Search for that on Twitch and YouTube, and you could find various things there. Or go to Linktree/Giraffemy. I tend to go live on Friday evenings, taking a week or so off, but I will be back very, very soon. Probably a week's time or so. And you can catch me playing, well, for the first time, Ace Attorney 2 with our good friend Fel Floney. That is me. Well, no, I am Jeremy, Giraffemy. That was Fel Floney, and you can find us at Giraffemy. That'll do. Thanks, Ian.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jeremy. Matty!
You can find me modding Giraffemy's streams and continuing to break his brain wherever I can. But when I'm not breaking Giraffemy's brains and laughing alongside Fel Floney, you can also find me under my own Twitch account, MattyBoo Twitches. I'm just about to finish playing Batman Telltale series and having a little cry about that, because once it's done, and I love that world. You can also find me under Instagram and Threads under MattyBoo Super, and then you can finally find me under X. Not really posting anything because I hate that hell site. Under MattyBoo Tweets, because I'm a rebel and I refuse to change my name. And
awesome.
done.
Thank you, Matty. And Harriet.
Well, streaming wise, I don't know if I'm able to stream this week because I'm very busy, but you can find me on Twitch, Harriet_Manga Girl. If I can stream, hopefully tomorrow, if not Wednesday, we'll see. If not, probably next week. Also, at the moment, I am recording reactions to Monday Night War from Parts Unknown. Episode 22 has actually just gone live an hour ago, so that's good. And then next one will be next week, and then there's just 2 more weeks left, and then that's it. So you can find me youtube.com/mangagirl232. Again, I post on Twitter, X whenever I can, when I'm tweeting, when I'm streaming, and my video links and all that. And yeah, that's where you can find me. So find me there.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I am also streaming on Twitch. I am the Dekker Dane, twitch.tv/Dekker Dane. I am live on Mondays. I'm on a little bit of a break at the moment because I have commitments to upcoming convention happening this weekend. So I am back streaming regularly from the 19th of August. So Mondays are watch-alongs. We dive into classic cartoons. We're currently watching Extreme Dinosaurs, Visionaries, and Dog City. And then there's usually a midweek stream Wednesday early evening. Sometimes it's Wacky Fortnite. Sometimes it's a different game altogether. But if you would like to catch me there, you're more than welcome to do so. Right. I think that just about does it. So, from me and the BunkaMania team, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week and enjoy all your wrestling content. We'll be back very, very soon because there's plenty more wrestling on the horizon. We've got All In coming up. We've got Bash in Berlin. We've got All Out coming up as well, and even Bad Blood. So there's plenty of more wrestling content on the way, and we will be here to talk about it. So until next time, stay safe. We'll see you very, very soon, and have a lovely evening. Adios.